is Salako. We begin with headlines. President Tinubu swears in Justice Kudirat Kekereekun as 23rd Chief Justice of Nigeria at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Plus, on the news, Minister of Works declares the ministry will not propose any new project for 2025 fiscal year, aiming to eliminate occurrence of abandoned projects. From the international scene, Narendra Modi pays a visit to Ukraine, the first pan-Indian Prime Minister since Ukraine gained independence from the Soviet Union in 1991. Details of those and more coming your way shortly. Do stay with us. Many thanks for joining us at this time. Now, details of the news. President Bola Tinubu has vowed to invoke his constitutional powers to continue to equip, arm and empower the Nigerian military. He acknowledged the importance of strategic leadership in addressing the complex security and development challenges confronting Nigeria. President Tinubu made the vow on Friday during the graduation ceremony of the course 32 participants at the National Defense College, Abuja. Represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima at the event, the President decried the state of infrastructure at the National Defense College's permanent site and POE Abuja, noting that while his administration has made substantial progress, there is still more work to be done in the school. Accordingly, he restated his administration's commitment to ensuring ongoing work and upgrading of the facilities at the permanent site are completed. Earlier, the commandant of the National Defense College, Rear Admiral Olumuyiwa Olotu, disclosed that the 111 graduates will contribute to Nigeria's effort to boost our strategic leadership across various sectors. He said their mission is to develop future strategic leaders sufficiently equipped with the requisite knowledge and analytical skills necessary to harness the instruments of national power in a dynamic defense and secure environment. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has charged Justice Kekereekun to be faithful and loyal to the Constitution when discharging her duty as the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria. The President gave the charge during the swearing-in of the acting CJN at the Presidential Villa, Abuja on Friday. Correspondent Abuchi Kenabuchi sent in the report.
It was a solemn assembly as the acting Chief Justice of the Federation mounted the podium as the President decorated her with the hood of the Grand Commander of the Order of Niger, GCON. In the presence of the bench and the bar as well as other government functionaries, Justice Kekereekun held the Quran while taking the oath of allegiance on office. Elated President Bola Tinubu, who administered the oath, acknowledged that the position of the CJN comes with enormous responsibilities as the leader of all judicial institutions in the country. He, however, wants the occupants of that position to imbibe the highest level of integrity in the discharge of duties, given the finality of the Supreme Court judgment.
I also encourage you to defend the judiciary's independence. Always promote the cause of justice, strengthen mechanism for integrity, discipline, and transparency in the judicial sector, and pursue other reforms or initiatives to sustain public confidence in the judiciary.
The acting CJN, who will now wait for the confirmation of her appointment by the Senate, assured of her resolve to take the judiciary to greater heights. She also spoke about the battered image and integrity of the judiciary, saying her administration will work to improve on its reputation and make sure that people have more confidence in the judiciary.
We'll make sure that people have more confidence in the judiciary. And I believe that it's not a one-man job. We all have to be on board. And because we all see where the areas are that need improvement, I believe that there will be cooperation because we all want to see a better judiciary.
Her lordship is from Lagos State, and expectedly, the governor of her state, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, described her as an outstanding jurist who has seen it all, having grown from being a magistrate to a Supreme Court justice.
Time that we all need to continue to ensure that our democracy understands and appreciates the clear separation of power, and for everyone understanding and knowing fully well that, yes, they are independent, but we all need each other, at various verticals to ensure that it all fits in, appropriately. So for me, it's really for the judiciary, which the former CJN had started, the reforms to continue, and for her to show that leadership that we know her too well for.
Kekere Ekun, the 23rd Chief Justice of Nigeria and the second female to be elevated to the position, succeed Justice Ariwola, who assumed office on June 27, 2022 and bowed out on Thursday, August 22, 2024, upon attaining the mandatory retirement age of 70 years. She is currently 66 years old and is expected to serve until her retirement in 2028.
Meanwhile, the Supreme Court on Friday upheld the election victories of Governor Duyejiri of Bayelsa State, Usman Ododo of Kogi State and Opuzadima of Imo State in a unanimous decision of the Apex Court. All the three appeals were dismissed for lacking in merit. Correspondent Kulojo completes the story.
The five-man panel, in their unanimous decisions, dismissed the three appeals for lacking in merit and as an abuse of the court processes. Recall that all the three appeals had earlier been dismissed right from the tribunal to the appeal courts before the Apex Court on Friday put an end to all agitations in the appeals. Justice Lawal Garba read the lead judgment in the appeal filed against the victory of Governor Duyejiri of Bayelsa State by Trimpe Silva. That of Kogi State between Governor Usman Ododo of APC and Muritala Jaka of PDP was delivered by Justice Sodiq Abubakar Umar, while the appeal between Governor Hope Uzodinma and Atan Ocholo was delivered by Justice Muhammad Abubakar Idris. The Apex Court resolved all issues raised in the appeal against the appellants for lacking in merit as well as an abuse of judicial processes. Counsel to the respondents in the matter said they were not surprised with the position taken by the Supreme Court on those appeals, saying it was an indication that the appeals lack merit, frivolous, and abuse of court processes.
Well, we are very happy that today again, Governor Duyejiri has won. You will recall that this has been a series of victories affirming his victory at the election. At the election tribunal, we won. At the Court of Appeal, we won. And today, too, at the Supreme Court, the final court, the highest court of the land, we have also won, affirming his victory at the polls.
You can see victory for the party. We thank God, and the PDP shall continue to work strong, no matter the crisis that bereaved the party.
You can hear from the court that our preliminary objection to the fact that the appeal number 15 at the Court of Appeal was an abuse of court process. And so the appeal here is also dismissed, just like the Court of Appeal dismissed it because it was an abuse of court process, because the Constitution only entitled you to file one appeal, and so you cannot file two appeals. That was our objection, and the court has upheld it. And the appeal of APC have been dismissed.
With the unanimous judgment, the elections of the three governors have been sanctioned and approved by the Apex Courts in the land. From the Supreme Court in Abuja, Kunle Ujo, Galaxy TV.
And still on judicial matters, a coroner's court in the Korodu area of Lagos State has issued summons to key witnesses in the ongoing inquest into the death of singer Ilerioluwa Loba, known as Mohbad, requiring them to appear before it. The witnesses summoned include Aziz Fashola, popularly known as Naira Marley, Samson Eletu, known as Sam Larry, and Mubat's sister-in-law Karimoto Gumbayo Oluwatife Adeyemo, aka Darosha, and Mubat's lawyer Oluwasomi Falade. Additionally, the nurse who treated the deceased, Veyishayo Gidingbe, and the driver who transported him to the hospital, Fidelis Esambo, have also been summoned to provide testimony. The court has granted the application by Mubat's father, Joseph Aloba, to serve a witness summons on additional witnesses through a reputable national newspaper and social media. Furthermore, the court has approved the application to recall Mubat's wife, Wumi, and the investigation police officer, IOP, in charge of the case, ASP Mohammed Yusuf, requiring them to provide further testimony. You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Coming up next. Coalition of northern groups condemns tragic abduction and brutal murder of the Emir of Gubir, His Highness Al-Haji Isa Muhammad Bawa. Details of that and more coming after the break. Do stay with us. We are glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page as Galaxy TV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share your story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818 6666 669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, asked the Collect that the ministry will not propose any new projects for the 2025 fiscal year, aiming to minimize or eliminate the occurrence of abandoned projects. This is just as it decried 16 trillion naira funding gap and an ongoing of over 4,000 projects it claimed the current administration inherited. The minister made this pronouncement during a media briefing in Abuja, marking his first year in office. Umahi disclosed that the ministry would not propose new projects for the 2025 fiscal year unless otherwise dictated by President Bola Tinubu, stressing that he asked the Ministry of Finance to provide funds for the completion of the ongoing projects.
4 projects per zone. 4 projects per zone. We have some of the recommendation here, and we want to give very serious budgetary attention to these projects so that they could be completed in 2025 and they have them commissioned by the president. That is one. Number 2, we may not allow new projects into our 2025 budget unless, otherwise directed by Mr. President. But this is his idea and the idea of Federal Executive Council.
The minister further explained that inflation has contributed significantly to the rising cost of most of these projects, and it would be in the nation's best interest. The minister further highlighted initiatives aimed at ensuring value for money in government projects, including the removal of the Consumer Price Index from all contracts and the introduction of inflow pricing.
On the terminal bridge, we are putting CCTV cameras. We are having observation room built below the bridge. And the idea is that if anybody wants to be funny on the bridge, we will use CCTV camera, and we have, mini boat we have purchased. We have, vehicles we have purchased. We are going to warehouse Navy, Army, Police, and local security within that place, so that the response time within the entire length and breadth of Tomeland Bridge will be about 2 minutes. And this is going to safeguard lives for those who want to take their lives on top of the bridge by, plunging themselves into the sea.
To other stories, governors under the umbrella body of the PDP Governors Forum have advised the president to caution his economy team against resorting to blackmail in fixing the economy. The governors made this known during the meeting on Friday at Government House in Jalingo, the Taraba state capital. Stating their position, Chairman of the Forum and Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed urged the president to restrain his team from taking to blackmail as he is solidly behind the people.
Laments that rather than undertake a review of the macroeconomic and social policies with a view to giving them a human face, the federal government has resorted to blackmail.
On the September 21st governorship election in Edo State, the governors condemned the alleged intimidation of PDP members by the police while calling on the Inspector General of Police to call his men to order.
With regard to the forthcoming governorship election in Edo State, we condemn the pronouncement by the president to compromise the election in favor of his party, as well as the systematic intimidation of PDP supporters by the Nigerian police.
And now to health. There are over 3,500 species of mosquito on Earth, and they are found on every continent except Antarctica. While only a small handful can carry the pathogens that causes diseases, this was made known by Professor Oladapo Okari from the Environmental Health Safety and Research University of Ibadan Friday at a community awareness training program with the theme Environmental Control of Mosquitoes, a measure for reducing malaria at household level. Okari stressed the need to constantly sensitize the rural areas and communities on the need to keep water containers covered, make sure there is proper drainage around community wells and water taps, among other steps to stop water storage in unsafe areas. In his remarks at the event, the chairman of Oluyole Local Government, Honorable Akim Olatunji, the training of the people of the local government area will go a long way to reduce malaria disease and help in saving more money treating malaria patients, he said. He admonished participants to spread what they have learned to their neighbors and be an ambassador in the fight against mosquitoes and malaria.
To undertake environmental sanitation, environmental hygiene system, even personal hygiene. And so this program which we are doing with some selected local government areas, local government area specifically today, is to sensitize the people, all the people representative from the wards in the local government area.
That's our country of Africa spend more than half of what they budgeted for health on malaria treatment. So, and if you look at the death rate, you discover that 90% of deaths in Africa and even in Nigeria are caused by malaria.
Environment, the way they dispose their waste products, as we have taught in this lecture, that is part of the causes of malaria bite in the environment. The lecture also taught us how we can keep our environment clean.
And still on the environment, humans over time have wrongfully disrupted and disturbed activities of nature, leading to dire consequences, which the government of the day needs to take proactive steps to lessen the harsh effect. Our correspondent tells us more about these acts in this report. Lagos State is the commercial heartbeat of Nigeria, a state well regarded as the land of opportunities, which consequently has positioned it on the receiving end of lots of migrants and businesses. But all these comes with environmental issues well known for triggering climate change, like greenhouse gas emission and pollution, which has given rise to a call for sustainability. Critics over time often blame government for not taking proactive steps to guard against the adverse effect of human excesses to the environment. However, the state government has often been putting plans in place to ensure the citizens gradually embrace going green. Iribami Salako, Galaxy TV News, Lagos. Operatives of the Nigerian Navy have destroyed 2 illegal refineries in delta communities of Otumara in Warri's southwest local government area of the state. In a statement made available to newsmen in Warri by the Nigerian Navy Director of Information Adam Saliu, he said 5 dugout pits, 2 wooden boats and tanks belonging to oil thieves were set ablaze. According to the Navy Information Director, the Delta Navy Command, with support from the ex-Provost base, stormed the camp through intelligence gathering, which led to the uncovering of the illegal refining site in a remote creek of Otumara. The oil thieves were said to have fled the scene immediately. The special squad of the Nigerian Navy team stormed the illegal refinery site as most of the illegal refined product went up in flames. Still on security matters, a joint security team comprising the police, military and the civil defense have arrested 2 suspected notorious secessionist group members involved in kidnapping, car snatching and armed robbery at Agwata community in Anambra State. The operation, according to a statement made available to newsmen by the State Police Command spokesperson Tochukwu Nkenga, was led by the police, who described one of the suspects as a fake pastor preparing charms for the gang members, while the other has a bullet wound on his leg. The suspects were said to have confessed to being members of a secessionist group and are helping the police in apprehending other members of their gang. The suspects have also provided information regarding the location of their shrine, hence the police did not disclose their names as well as where they kept some of the snatched vehicles. The Anambra State Police Commissioner Nagil Bono assured the people of the state that they are working tirelessly on all reported cases of kidnapping and armed robbery for the protection of lives and properties and the betterment of the state. The coalition of Northern Group CNG has condemned in the strongest terms the tragic abduction and brutal murder of the Emir of Gobir as Highness Al-Haji Isa Mohammed Bawa. The coalition, in a statement signed and issued in Abuja by its national coordinator, Kamri Jamilu Aliyu, described the unfortunate and heinous act as not only an attack on the monarch and the revered traditional institution, but also a grave assault on the collective conscience of the society. While it viewed the incident as totally unacceptable and which should not be allowed to repeat itself, CNG similarly condemns Sokoto state government for its despicable, nonchalant and lackadaisical attitude towards the handling of the plight of the late emir, which led to the unfortunate murder in the hands of bandits. The coalition is deeply concerned that the government has failed to prioritize the security and well-being of its people, instead choosing to entangle security issues and traditional institutions in the web of political maneuvering. It's noted that the governor must confine politics to its proper domain and refrain from extending it to critical areas such as security and the preservation of the royal institutions. The CND strongly charged the police, the Department of State Security, DSS, and other relevant security personnel to thoroughly investigate allegations regarding the unfortunate incident and ensure that all culprits are brought to justice. The adverse effect of climate change the world over has no doubt become a major concern to humanity following the change in weather conditions, which has been attributed to natural and human factors such as the cutting down of trees, industrial emission, deforestation, among many other factors. Correspondent Gabriel Odia, who filed in this report, takes a look at the effect of climate change on agriculture and how it's to mitigate its effect.
While food inflation is on an all-time high across Nigeria, and more people are encouraged by government to go into farming to boost food production, some experts have advised farmers to shift from the old traditional ways of farming and adopt the climate-smart method of agriculture by planting crops that are drought and parasite resistant in line with the current climate in order to boost food production, stressing that recent NIMET predictions reveal scanty rains as these would affect some crops.
We have about 4 weeks of non-rainfall, and there are crops that they are planted within this period, which needs rainwater. Because of absence of the rainwater, the growth is not as speedy as they ought to be. And two, when there is no rain, there is tendency that pests and other insects will now come and feed on the crops. So the effect of this, because of non-rainfall, affects the down effect goes to the crops that we have planted.
Climate change has come to stay. So on that basis, farmers are advised to plant crops that are drought resistant. That is, farmers are encouraged to go into what we call climate smart agriculture. By that, we have to plant crops that are drought resistant, crops that are early maturing, and crops that are pest resistant.
Rains are not coming the way they're supposed to come. We are encouraging our farmers to use early maturing varieties of crops in such a way that even if the rain stops before time, you can still have good harvest. And because of these climate change issues, we're having resurgence in pests and diseases. So our farmers are encouraged to use pests or disease-tolerant varieties.
While they explained that farmers can access the improved seedlings from the Ministry of Agriculture and any other recognized outlet if they are in need of it. Just as Hilakan Peter says in Benue, the agrochemical resilience in semi-arid landscapes is working with the state government and World Bank to support farmers and restore the environment.
Considering the fact that even land availability is not that much, so the little land that we have to maximize its usage. If we don't maximize its usage by adopting this climate smart agriculture that I'm talking about, definitely we are going to have food shortage. And
all these things are causing a problem to agriculture, reducing productivity. So there is need to guide against some of these activities to caution the effect of climate change. Benue Akrisa, sponsored by the World Bank through the collaboration of the state government, have been doing wonderful in the areas of mitigating the issues of climate change.
The Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency, NISA, on Friday issued an urgent warning to the public regarding the rising water levels of the River Niger system. Omar Mohammed, the Director General of NISA, in a statement noted that floodwaters from these countries are gradually moving towards Nigeria, starting with Kebbi State. The development is attributed to upstream activities in Niger and Mali, with reports from the Niger Basin Authority (NBA) in Niamey, Niger Republic. The DG said the risk of flooding is expected to peak by the end of August and into September, urged states and communities along the River Niger system to remain vigilant. He said the agency will continue to monitor the situation closely and provide regular updates to the public. The federal government has assured Nigerians of a determination to complete all ongoing and abandoned projects across the country in order to make life more meaningful to Nigerians. The Minister for Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Otsef, stated this in Ikere-Ekiti while inspecting the Ogwese Water Dam, which has been under construction since 2009. It is a multi-purpose dam expected to generate 4 megawatts of electricity, provide irrigation to farmers in Ekiti South Senatorial District, and supply potable water to about 500,000 residents of Ikere and Ekiti. The minister, who was conducted around the facility by Engineer Ali Della, Director Dams and Reservoirs, Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, said his working tour of projects in the southwestern parts of Nigeria is to assess the situation with a view to ensure timely completion of the projects. Engineer Ali Della said the project has reached about 70% and efforts are in top gear to ensure completion before the end of the year 2025.
Broadcasters people, and it's so designed because of the terrain here is suitable for the terrain. And then we also have the intake that will take water from the reservoir, to the powerhouse, and also for water supply and irrigation. Irrigation definitely will come as phase 2. That is after we finish all that we have now. So this dam, when completed, will provide 4 megawatts of electricity. It can be more depending on the type of how we utilize the turbine very well. And then it will give water supply to a population of 450,000.
Where we are now is funding for this particular project, which Mr. President has graciously approved. And very soon, the installation of this hydropower component will be completed, and the second phase of this particular project, which is the water supply and the irrigation components, will also be done. We are expecting that when this is being done, our women, our youth, which are jobless, can now just be created for them.
The Rivers State government has signed a public-private partnership agreement for the establishment of a new port city to be delivered on the 1,000 hectares of land. The aim is to decongest the state capital of Port Harcourt and break the one-city jinx which the state is known for across the country and the world at large. The Memorandum of Understanding was signed at the Government House in Port Harcourt by the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Justice Dagogo Iboroma, who represented the State Governor Siminalayi Fubara. According to the Attorney General, the idea was from the State Governor in having 3 new cities in Rivers State. The Acting Director General of Greater Port Harcourt City, Dr. Tonti Davies, described the public-private partnership as a dream come true.
Rivers State is famed for being a one-city state, and that one city is Port Harcourt. And for want of proper development, it began to spread, and over the years merged with Obi Akbo in the local government area, and I think also Oyigbo local government area.
For me today is history made and a dream come true. This is one of those numerous cities that we have outlined as an organization and as a state to develop, just like His Excellency rightly said.
In its determined quest towards ensuring Nigerian youth become innovators and solution providers, even as undergraduates, the federal government has been urged to commit significant resources towards research, innovations and development. This call was made known when the leadership of the Federal Polytechnic Ilaro Governing Council and the National Automotive Design and Development Council visited and inspected the Innovation Center of institution. Correspondent John Felix completes the story.
The Federal Polytechnic Ilaro is said to be the first institution to produce this brand of tricycle built and assembled at the institution's Innovation Center. This feat has attracted key stakeholders to the institution, and the appeal here is for more funds injected into the institution that will bet more innovations, research and development.
Solution exists, and they have tapped into the solution that exists. And the finish of the tricycle, electric tricycle I've seen, is highly commendable. But the most important thing is that all of us will continue to pressure the government to finish up so many raw material producing companies that they have started, because therein lies the solution to bringing down the cost of vehicles generally.
My advice, as always, is that we need federal government assistance specifically to this polytechnic, so that they can expand the scope of this machine to accommodate, as I've said, 2 or 3 people. Ours, as I've continued to say, is we don't have funds, because all these raw materials that can be sourced are expensive. It requires a lot of funds. So we have to go cups in hand.
The rector of the institution said the school is committed to becoming a household name in terms of research and development. He added that the Polytechnic will soon commence an assembly plant that will bet new innovations for the Polytechnic.
I must say that I'm also impressed. My expectation is to see how we can take the tricycle to the industry. Let me also tell you that this is just the prototype. The main design contains 3 people, will contain 3 people at the back and 1 in the front. And that also has a solar panel that will charge it. That has already been designed. But our expectation is to see who to partner with, maybe like Innocent or like whoever that can help us take it to the industry. Because if we cannot produce this kind of tricycle in commercial quantity, we will be importing it. That will add pressure to our exchange rate. So we are asking for agencies to support us, to also fund this polytechnic in a way that we can do better.
So we developed the tricycle design here by ourselves. We got some parts from outside, particularly the motors, but every other one, we did the design and everything. And majorly, these are our students, they have over 80% input in whatever we are doing. Presently, we have 8,000 students passing through the Innovation Center, and they go through the rigors of all these things. So they are part of those who do the assembling, the welding and so on.
Highlight of the visit was a test run of the tricycle by the Chairman Governing Council of the institution. John Felix reporting for Galaxy Television News.
A dispatch rider was confirmed dead and 2 others were rescued following a multiple vehicle accident along the Lekki Expressway in Lagos. The accident occurred near Chevron heading towards Ikota along the expressway. Preliminary investigation revealed that the high-capacity TNM bus lost control due to brake failure while speeding, colliding with an ongoing Kia Rio vehicle. The impact caused the Kia Rio to crash into a dispatch motorcycle at opposite direction. The dispatch rider was pronounced dead at the scene, while 2 others sustained serious fractures and were rushed to a nearby hospital by a Good Samaritan who was driving along the expressway. Police officers from Ajiwe and Ilasan police stations provided security during the rescue operations conducted by LASTMA personnel and other emergency responders. The General Manager of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, Olalekan Bakari, urged motorists, particularly high-capacity bus drivers, to ensure their vehicles are in proper working condition, especially the braking system, before embarking on any journey within or outside the state. Now, we move to the international desk for more news.
Hello and welcome to the foreign news. India's Narendra Modi was welcomed to Ukraine's capital Kyiv by President Volodymyr Zelensky in the first visit to the country by an Indian Prime Minister since it gained independence from the Soviet Union in 1991. Zelensky embraced Modi before the 2 leaders started talks at the Mariinsky Presidential Palace, where the president said they honor the memory of the children whose lives were taken by Russian aggression. Modi's visit to Ukraine was very friendly and historic, Zelensky said. The Indian Prime Minister is expected to discuss economic ties and cooperation in defense, science and technology, while also broaching the contentious subject of a settlement to end the war with Russia. No problem can be resolved on the battlefield, Modi said ahead of his visit, adding that India supports dialogue and diplomacy for restoration of peace and stability as soon as possible. It is unclear whether the Indian leader could be an effective deal-maker, seen by many in Ukraine as being too close to Russian President Vladimir Putin. Vice President Kamala Harris pledged a new way forward for all Americans as she formally accepted the Democratic nomination for president on Thursday night, delivering a message of unity and urging voters to reject Donald Trump. November's election is a chance to move past the bitterness, cynicism, and the divisive battles of the past, she said, bringing her party's convention in Chicago to a close as balloons rained down and supporters cheered. Harris' speech capped off a 4-day spectacle designed to highlight her backstory and shape the contours of what remains a vogue policy agenda. She made history as the first black and Asian American woman to lead a major party's presidential ticket. The 59-year-old officially became the Democratic nominee after a fast-moving few weeks that began with President Joe Biden stepping aside in the White House race. Polls suggest she is now in a tight race with Trump, who offered criticism of Ms. Harris' appearance as it unfolded. The United Nations Committee responsible for combating racism has slammed the United Kingdom over continuing hate crimes, hate speech and xenophobic incidents following riots fueled by hate and misinformation that crippled the country this summer. The UN Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination said on Friday it was public figures. The committee also issued its finding on Belarus, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Iran, Iraq, Pakistan and Venezuela after reviewing them in its latest session. CARD said in a statement that it was particularly concerned about recurring racist acts and violence against ethnic and ethno-religious minorities, migrants, refugees and asylum seekers by extremist far-right and white supremacist individuals and groups, including the violence that took place in July and August. Riot and unrest fueled by xenophobia and misinformation surrounding the tragic killing of 3 girls in a stabbing incident swept across the country in more than a week of violence that saw about 600 people arrested. And still on foreign news, a volcano in southwestern Iceland has erupted for the 6th time since December, according to the country's meteorological office. The eruption started at 9:26 p.m. on Thursday with live video images showing red lava spewing at a new fissure on the Reykjavik Peninsula. The Icelandic Meteorological Office said the total length of the fissure was about 3.9 kilometers and had extended by 1.5 kilometers in about 40 minutes, said the Met Office in a statement. Ireland Ministry for Foreign Affairs said the eruption did not present a threat to life and that the nearby area has been evacuated. The impact is limited to a localized area near the eruption site. It posted on social media platform X. Regional Police Chief Olfa Ludvigsson told Icelandic media that the evacuation of the nearby fishing village of Grindavik was going well, adding that 22 or 23 houses were currently occupied. Most of Grindavik 4,000 residents have evacuated in November prior to an eruption in December, and while residents have since been allowed to return in between eruptions, only a few have opted to stay overnight. Divers have located the 6th body in the wreckage of a luxury yacht which sank off Sicily, believed to be that of the 18-year-old Hannah Lynch, according to report. Hannah was the last person unaccounted for after the luxury yacht Bayesian foundered during a wrecked storm off the Italian fishing village of Pozzicello, east of Pemolo, claiming 7 lives in total. 5 bodies, including that of Hannah's father, tech entrepreneur Mike Lynch, have already been found by divers in the wreck, which is lying on the seabed at a depth of 50 meters. The body of the ship's chef was earlier found near the yacht. A total of 15 people survived, including a 1-year-old child and Hannah's mother, Angela Baccaris. Morgan Stanley International Bank Chairman Jonathan Blomer, his wife Jody Blomer, Clifford Chance lawyer Chris Movillo, his wife Neda Movillo, and the boat's chef Ricardo Thomas all died in the disaster. Rescuers described the operation, which has been ongoing since Monday, as complex, with divers limited to 12 minutes underwater shift. A decision on whether to raise the sunken yacht from the seabed is not on the agenda, but will be in the future, a spokesperson from the Italian Coast Guard said. And finally, on foreign news, at least 14 people have died after a bus carrying passengers from India fell into a river in Nepal, officials have said. There were around 40 people on the bus, which was traveling to Nepal's capital, Kathmandu, from Pokhara, according to report. Rescue operations on the way at the accident scene on the bank of Marisandi River in Tanahun district. The cause of the accident and the identities of the victims have not been confirmed yet. Deputy Chief Minister Davendra Fadnavis of the western state of Maharashtra said that some of the victims were from the state. We're in touch with the Uttar Pradesh government to bring the bodies of the deceased to Maharashtra in coordination with the Nepal government. He posted on X. Videos from the accident site showed the mangled remains of the bus lying at the bottom of a hilly slope next to a Goshen river. Rescue personnel can be seen looking for survivors among the wreckage. A Nepal Army helicopter carrying a medical team has been dispatched to the accident site. The bus route from Pokhara to Kathmandu is very popular among Indian tourists and pilgrims. Accidents are often reported in Nepal due to factors including poor maintenance of roads and vehicles and narrow paths in mountainous areas. And that's all we have for the foreign news.
Coming your way next, entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News. My name is Rose Blossom Mwe. Here are the stories on the news desk today.
Nigerian singer Omale has recounted how a popular musician stole his idea and made an album with it. The Afrobeat singer disclosed this in an interview with Zach Sang show. The dance singer disclosed that he had an idea and had changed it with a popular singer who he loves and was hoping to make a collaboration with. Unfortunately for him, the singer stole his idea and made an album with it. Omale said he had to remake his album and believed it would be the greatest. Omale isn't the only one who has had his idea stolen. Nigerian talent manager and best friend of award-winning music star Davido Ubi Franklin has bagged a Bachelor of Laws LLB honors from University of Essex. The talent manager shared the good news via his Instagram page as he recounted his bittersweet experience. He revealed that in March 2020, he got the information that Nigeria will be going on lockdown due to a pandemic and being a restless person with a desire always to achieve new goals. He was of the opinion that his various university degrees weren't enough and he needed something more. He revealed that he was on a phone call with Pastor Toby when he told him he wanted to give law another shot. But this time in the UK, he encouraged him. Ubi stated that after several postponements, he woke up one morning determined to find the school and he searched the internet desperately till he found the university he enrolled in. It stated that he started with legal skills and context, public law, criminal law, business environment, and business and management skills. From there, the journey moved to the law of thought, land law, operations management, wills and administration of estate. The talent manager penned a heartfelt note to Pastor Toby for always remembering he was in school and encouraging him. He also appreciated Davido and his wife Chioma for their unwavering support and encouragement. Nollywood actress Tawa Ajisafeni has broken the silence following the birth of her first child. It was reported that news made round on Thursday night that the Yoruba actress and her husband had welcomed her first child in the US, a baby boy. Confirming the news, the movie star via her Instagram page shared photos from a maternity shoot as she expressed gratitude to her maker. Announcing that she welcomed a boyfriend, she congratulated her and her husband on the good news. Some of her colleagues flooded our comment section with congratulatory messages. Finally, on entertainment news, Nigerian clergyman Pastor Jerry Eze has impressed celebrities with his sweet gesture to the less privileged. It was reported on Thursday that the popular clergyman turned a year older. In the celebration of his 42nd birthday, he built 18 houses for widows and gave 100 million naira business grant to young people. Sharing the news on the microblogging platform Twitter, now known as X, he expressed gratitude to God as he noted how what God cannot do does not exist. This news has impressed many celebrities as they took to the social media to praise him. On his birthday, D'banj, Mike Ezeronye, and Yola Doche sent him birthday wishes.
And that'll be all on entertainment news. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Rose Blossom. Bye for now.
And that is all we have for you. We thank you so much for